Hey, welcome back. I was thinking about to do some new, to make some short episodes about how I use my drums and how I make my drums, how I shape my drums. So I will divide it in several episodes. So let's start with this short episode. It is about the kick drum. I have on my MPC 2000 a kick recorded from vinyl. Sounds like this one. What I do to get the kick drum sound into the Akai MPC 60 is adjust the volume of the output gain into the input, the analog to the digital converter, because that's where it happens for me with the MPC 60. How harder I push it, the more it gets distorted. Let's put it harder. It's not only the volume, but it's also getting clipped a little. So what I want to do to cut it through the mix, I will make it a little louder, and then I record it into the MPC 60. It's like this. And then you can think, yeah, but it's way too loud. Of course, but I will trim it down in volume into the 60, and then we're done. And from there I can tune it and a little tune down. I think that's cool. And I also trim the sample. Let me do it real quick. It's a lot of chopping, but it's okay. So this one, here you hear the tail. Yeah, chop that off. And then I can go to the decay mode, to the end, to make it more tight. I think I like this one. And if I want to, I can also pitch it maybe a little. I can go way further, but I think that's way too much. So like this. And that's for most of the time the steps I'm doing into my MPC 60. So I use the clip gain, and then I tune it a little, and I trim the sample, and from there I route the kick drum to my console. So let's go to the console and check out what I'm going to do there. Alright, this is the EQ section of my board. This is also one channel strip. The EQ is like this. The upper knob is the 10K is a shelf, so I can make a high shelf or lower it. This toggle switches is for the 3K, it's nothing, it's out, or the 5K, and this knob is to adjust the gain. So if I want 5K, I will turn it up or turn it down. Also for the other switch is the 200 or the 800 Hertz. This is also the volume knob for it. The other is the 75 Hertz. It's also a shelf, so I can make a low shelf or a higher shelf for a little bump. It's not it's not a high or low cut, it's just a shelf, but I'm fine with it. It's some cool frequencies. So I made a small kick drum loop, a kick loop in the MPC, and I routed it to the console. So let's use some EQ. Here we go. I always check out the highs, because with some little high it makes it also more noticeable on smaller speakers. Here's the shelf. Not too much for the 800 Hertz. You can hear what it does. It's out. It's 200 Hertz. That's out. I also hear in the sample a little plop, but that's okay for now. I think I go with this one, maybe something like this. And now I get the option. Let me get the camera. Is the bass section. It's over here. That means I can route the signal into my group sections. What I do is for the kick and the snare I use two groups, group 3 and group 4. Group 3 is just a single kick to process it, and bus 4 is the parallel bus to process it together with number 3. So now let's dial in some hardware and check it out how it sounds. So my group section is routed as an insert to the patch bay. So I got here all the outputs, the 8 outputs from my 8 groups, and I also got my hardware, all my gear connected to the patch bay, so I can choose what I want. So let's go for the kick drum. What I'm about to do is I'm going to patch it. I have kind of chain I always use. I always use with this EQ. It's the White Instruments Series 4000 EQ. It's not the best EQ, but it has kind of warmed, and it can bring some punch out of it. And from there I route the kick into a compressor of taste. For this time I think I'm going for the Radioman limiter. There's more information about other videos I did. Hit play. You also hear still the kick, because I have 2 channels. I got the mono kick, solo kick, and I got the parallel bus, the kick drum bus. So first I go into the EQ, and from there I route it to the Radioman. Alright, here it is. Not doing much for compression, but I need it for the ins and outs to hear the sound. So some EQ. Yeah, beef it up here. Some hertz. I like to beef it up. It's out. And then we can use the compressor. It's out. It's in. So it's a little more tighter, more punchier. That's what I use for the kick most of the time. You can also check warm audio, so I can go from the cut out the Radioman, go to the 41, faster. That's the warm audio. And that's the Radioman limiter. So small difference that they both FET compressors. That's what I do for the mono kick most of the time, not much. And then we have the parallel kick bus, and I always route it to the U-mic. That's the green box. This one, put it in, there we are. Yes. It's out. More punchier. Also louder, but I will pair that on the console. So that's what I use for the hardware, you know. Um, just a small extra EQ to beef it up and run it through compressor of taste, and from there I use the parallel compression bus, the Umic, for some extra spice and slap, and then I blend it with the samples and the rest of the beat. So that's what I use to color and shape my gear. So I hope you like. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode for the snare. Peace.